All right, good morning, everyone. It's 11:30. We'll go ahead and get started with the pre-commission agenda. I don't have a president's report today. Are there any general housekeeping items or discussion on the agenda?
Madam President,
Commissioner McKinney?
I do have a couple of questions on some agenda items on the consent agenda. So if we have a couple minutes,
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that.
Hello, Madam President, Commissioner.
Thank you, Director. The item number 4 on the consent agenda is the Eckert Road Bridge replacement. And I just wanted to kind of take a step beyond what's right here and ask about we've got this commitment for funds for the bridge from the state. I guess there's really kind of 4 questions, but they all kind of merge into one. What is our plan for doing a concept design for this? And I presume we'll have some kind of a preliminary estimate only after we do the concept design and budgets and so on. So what can you tell me on that?
Yeah, thank you, Madam President, Commissioner McKinney. This will start the process. LTAC will be the ones in the lead through the design of the project. And so we'll work with them. They've given us the ability to control whatever portions of that we would like to control. But they will be the ones managing that contract with the consultant, and that's what this agreement allows us to move forward on. And so we won't have a full cost of this. What their commitment is to pay for the replacement of the bridge, and so any cost associated with that, if we need to ask for additional funding, we can. But anything beyond the replacement of the bridge, ACHD will be responsible for. So if we want to reconfigure any of the other bridges or realign it or any of those kind of components that aren't necessary for that replacement, ACHD will be responsible for that. And we will bring that back to the commission once we have more information.
So is that to say that we're not handling the design of any of it, that's all on them, and we're simply footing the bill for the approaches to the bridge, basically, and the adjacent Reidenbach Canal Bridge? Is that the way this is working?
Madam President, Commissioner McKinney, I'm going to call up the expert and let her give that full detail.
Great, thank you.
Madam President, Commissioner McKinney, Diane Bevins, Deputy Director of Projects. So we're going to be in the lead on the design of this project like any other ACHD project. LTAC will be administering the contract, we're making sure we're following the correct process that's been related. They've set out with this, the LILB program, and then, doing checks, doing reviews. We'll be checking on the estimate and breaking out what's their portion, our portion, but it will run very similarly to an ACHD project with our Cody Holman as the project manager. It is a fast track project, so it won't follow our normal process. And we will get to preliminary design. We're going straight to preliminary design on this one. And that's when we'll have a check on the cost estimate at that time.
Okay, so it's working like any other ACHD project. The costs are divided up in a particular way because of the bridge and so on, but we're still in charge of getting it designed and built.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So when are we likely to know what our total costs are going to be? If we're going straight into preliminary design, when are we going to have some kind of an estimate of what this is going to cost us?
I believe it's end of summer and the fall timeframe. We'll have a better handle on it, at least another update on the cost estimate, because we'll have the bridge type and layout, the alignment all set.
Okay, so around the time of doing our next year's budget, right? Is that about what it sounds like? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Very good. Thank you on that one. I appreciate it. That's all my questions on that one. I do have questions on another item, Director, if I may. On item number 3, the cul-de-sac slurry seal project. This is something I assume we do on a regular basis simply because we have streets that our chip seal can't get into. Is that basically what we're doing here? And I noticed the bid came in below our engineer's estimate, but there was only one bidder. Is that unusual or is that common? I just wonder when I see one bidder on a project. That makes me curious.
Madam President, Commissioner McKinney, we only have one company in Idaho that does this work.
Oh, okay. All right. That makes sense. This, and I assume this particular item, we had a specific budget item on this particular thing. How often do we do this kind of work every year? Or do we do it every few years? How often?
Madam President, Commissioner McKinney, we do this every year. We have a budget for this because the number of cul-de-sacs, I want to say, is in the thousands, over 5,000.
Okay.
And so they don't always get treated, and they take a lot of wear and tear with the turning of vehicles. And so we generally have projects that need to be updated each year. And we just do a certain amount of those each year.
Okay. Great. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Great. Over to you for the director's report.
Wonderful. Thank you, Madam President. We're grateful to have you here today and to see you all again. We're grateful for our good friends in the legislature who have went home. They did a lot of work. There's a lot of things that we'll be playing through with you all over the next number of months, but we're excited to move into the next quarter of our fiscal year. We continue to focus on build. One of the things that we do is we continually seek to train our team and make sure that we are the best prepared for whatever may come. And so just share with you, this week we have ongoing our equipment rodeo. That's rodeo, it's important to make sure that's well emphasized. And just wanted to show, yesterday was the day that staff, the team members here that are not regularly using the equipment got to go out. So just wanted to share with you how that went. Well, we all have talents, and there's some things we are grateful that everyone has a diverse talents that we can all bring together and make KCHD shine. Tomorrow will be the competition day for our maintainers and those who have signed up to participate in this. We'll recognize them in upcoming meetings, but tomorrow's the big day for that. As we shared with you, last week was pothole week. This is kind of a reflection back on how we were created. We know that ACHD came to be because there was a lot of maintenance and a lot of potholes in the county, and so we like to keep holding on to that tradition and really do a focused effort after the winter seems to be wrapping up. You never know. We're in Idaho. It could snow tomorrow, but we're grateful for the team and their committed efforts. Last week, they filled 959 potholes, which is tremendous. We're well ahead of the number of potholes we filled in the past. That does give us we always look at that and say, are we just hearing more about them, or are we, does our infrastructure need that love and support a little bit more? And so, but the team is committed to making sure that that work happens, and they did a great job this last week. Our team is also, they're wrapping up today the annual effort we have to support the race to Roby Creek. The pass there always gets snowed in, and they've asked us to help kind of clear that pass and make sure that that's open for the big event coming up in the next week or so. And so we're always grateful for the team and their commitment to use to do that. Just wanted to give you the monthly update on our Apple maintenance yard. Great work is happening there. It continues from where we were last month. Grading continues. They're continuing to level out. They found a few things hidden, which is always what you find anytime you're digging in an industrial area. But good work is happening there and progress is being made. The end goal in this is we anticipate that will be completed in May of 2027 is the timeframe for that project to be completed. Just wanted to give you an update on one of our major projects that's ongoing in the south part of the county, Lake Hazel and Eagle. This is one of the largest projects ACHD has built in a number of years, with the need to raise that intersection, as well as widening a mile of roadway, adding a roundabout at that mid-mile point, as well as building out the signal here. One of the things that as a team we've committed to is, as we go into these major projects, we wanted to recognize ahead of time the challenges that the adjoining neighborhoods face. And so as this project started, we received a lot of input on what's listed. It's listed there as Graphite Way. I don't know what Google is doing. They have all sorts of naming conventions in this area, and those roads have different names. But we already went in and did a bit of traffic calming for that neighborhood, trying to discourage. But in this particular area, we added stop signs, and now people found the way that didn't have stop signs. And so we got a feedback from the neighborhood, and the team's responding and going and making some additional changes there to make sure that we're managing that construction traffic and being a good partner as we do our work in that area. But just wanted to also give you a few images there of the type of work that's happening. That wall is substantial in managing the grade change that happened right at that intersection, but good progress is being made as that continues forward. Commissioners, we announced last week that we were moving this week, and it happened. As of Monday, the team, our traffic operations team is now located at our Franklin site. We've had the opportunity to be there over the last few days, and the reception is very positive from the team. They are extremely happy and grateful for the investment that you all chose to make in that infrastructure. We will have that tour immediately after next week's commission meeting, and would love to have you there. We're also continuing to reach out to our partners and setting dates on the tour there. If you go across the street, you'll see that there's a vacant building and a lot of open space, and that's what, as this has occurred, we're excited to see that progress happening too, and that will be complete when that Apple Yard is finished. But really positive experience for the team, and they're extremely grateful for the investment that's been made there. With that, commissioners, I'll stand for any questions. Thank you.
Thanks, Director. Thanks for the great report. All right, with that, we will be at ease until noon. All right, it's now 12 o'clock. I'll call the meeting to order. Thanks to everyone who's here in person and online, and please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, the first order of business is to adopt the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All right, we've got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Motion carries. Next item is the consent agenda. Items on the consent agenda are considered to be routine and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items unless the commissioner or citizen so requests, in which case the item will be removed from the consent agenda and placed on the regular agenda. All consent agenda items are commission action items unless noted. Is there a motion?
Madam President, I move that we approve the consent agenda.
All right, we've got a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. That moves us to the regular agenda. We don't have any items on there today. And next up is discussion items. Do we have anybody in person or online who would like to address the commission? Okay, seeing none, we are adjourned and we have an executive session. Thanks all.